Well, as President Obama mentioned in his speech, the U.S. and its allies are continuing to take the fight to the Islamic State. Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi says U.S.-led airstrikes against the Islamic State group have been very effective. But his government expects more help from the international community. In an interview Wednesday in Baghdad with the Associated Press, Mr. Abadi stressed the need for ground fighting and says the training international military advisors are giving Iraqi forces needs to happen more quickly.
There's a lot of things being said and being spoken and very little on the ground. We are very thankful for the air campaign to support our military, but I think you cannot achieve victory without a real fight on the ground, and we are doing this real fight, and we are expecting other countries to match our fight. We don't want anybody to fight with us on this, but we need support and logistics.
Well, the Prime Minister also says Iraq is struggling to find the resources to buy arms and needs to help to get them quickly. President Obama has ruled out sending U.S. ground troops to Iraq. He authorized the air campaign there last August, targeting Islamic State militants. Well, for more on the U.S. efforts against the Islamic State and terrorism, we are joined live via Skype by VOA State Department correspondent Carla Babb. Carla, thanks for joining us. And
thank you for having me.
Let's go straight to the fight against terrorism. Many are not so clear about the U.S. Strategy here. What practically is happening on the ground?
Well, the next phase that's happening on the ground is the United States military is going to be sending trainers in the next 4 to 6 weeks, it says, to help start training Syrian moderate rebels. These are going to be in training locations based in Turkey, based in Qatar, based in Saudi Arabia. There are already trainers on the ground in Iraq, in Anbar Province, at the Al-Assad base, for example, in Taji. And so they're going to be working with these people who are going to be fighting Islamic State militants to get them better prepared, better trained, teach them how to fight, teach them how to work as a team.
How does this strategy actually work to the benefit of the U.S. While at the same time achieving the effects?
Well, the United States has said multiple times it does not want to put combat troops on the ground. The United States says this is not its war to fight. It is the war of the Syrian people. It is the war of the Iraqi people and the surrounding neighbors in the Middle East that the Islamic State is expanding into their borders as well. So the United States is achieving its aim of stopping the terrorists without actually having to put their own combat boots on the ground, as they did in Iraq previously, as they did in Afghanistan.
Now, many people's hearts are also bleeding for the kids that have been taken hostage in Nigeria, and many other people have been killed. And they thought, well, the president should have mentioned something about that. What do you make of it?
Well, the thing I can make out of that is Boko Haram is such a sensitive subject with Nigerians, and the president wanted to come across as a very strong president. Think about it. Most of his speech was on the economy because the economy is doing very well. He talked about the broad coalition because that's something that the United States can take strength on. He talked about the Iranian nuclear program because that's something that's advanced further than it has in a very long time. And so when it comes to Boko Haram, that's still a very fluid situation. They still do not know where the girls are located. The intelligence, the surveillance, the reconnaissance that the United States is giving the Nigerians, there's a struggle back and forth between the U.S. military and the Nigerians on how well it's being used, how much access is being given. There are still things between the United States and Nigeria. For example, the military training that the United States was going to provide Nigeria, it wasn't completed. They both pulled out of that. So there are still tais that make it less strong than something that the United States would want to mention and the president would want to mention in his State of the Union address.
Very quickly, there's the word that comes out, that is the military advisors. Who really are these guys?
The military advisors that are on the ground in Iraq right now are supposed to be people helping to coordinate the attacks, people helping to coordinate the airstrikes that are real-time with the people who are on the ground that are real-time fighting the Islamic State militants. In addition to that, they're also trying to put advisors on to help with strategy, to help to how to push the Islamic State out of areas, how to really squeeze them in the best possible way.
All right. Thank you very much, Carla.
Thank you.
Well, Carla Babb reporting live via Skype.